heard you always been a gamer to some extent.
Yeah, well, I've played video games since their inception. Activision called me and said, we are working on a game, we'd like you to come see what we're doing. As soon as I played it and I felt just some of the controls, I knew that was the game.
The video game obviously turned into something much bigger than I think anyone expected.
To think that this may actually affect the evolution of skateboarding, which ultimately it did.
And thank you again for talking to me after Zoom screwed up a few weeks ago. So, because I really want to talk about this because I know it's very popular and I know a lot of skaters, so they were excited about this. And
that's awesome.
So in 1999, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater sold 9 million copies, took people by surprise, all 17 versions, almost $2 billion. It shaped a generation of skating, going from underground to mainstream. But this was the second documentary about the Tony Hawk Pro Skater you did, right?
Yeah, I mean, you know, officially the first, I mean, professionally the first two, but, you know, back in the day, I used to have a YouTube channel, which was called Icebergs Forever, where I made sort of amateur I made Tony Hawk's Pro Skater videos, and one of them was an amateur documentary on the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater games called History of Tony Hawk Games, which Ralph D'Amato, the film's producer, ended up seeing, and he, you know, sent me a message and said that he really appreciated the attention to detail, that I'd done a great job. And that's how our friendship formed and this film came together, really. But, you know, I'd say still this is my first proper documentary about the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater games, because the one I did on YouTube way back then, it featured no interviews. It was just me talking and all the information I got from Wikipedia or whatever other sources I had at the time. So, you know, it's, yeah, it's night and day, really. Yeah.
And the idea behind making the movie, did you have any obstacles once you started to do this professionally? What kind of obstacles stood in your way? Was it talent? Was it getting rights to things, music?
I mean, Ralph D'Amato, you know, the producer, did such an awesome job with all that, so I really didn't have to worry. I guess the biggest obstacle was facing those kind of real-life challenges you don't have to face when you do things, you know, in your basement, which I did with those videos. Essentially, you know, when you go out to shoot, you know, I don't know, like a scene with skateboarding in downtown LA, and you don't think about things like, you know, I was, you know, I never filmed in downtown LA before, and then suddenly you arrive on set, there's, you know, 2 cops waiting to, you know, bust your ass. So yeah, we almost got caught twice shooting some of the B-roll, but yeah, we made it out alive, and the B-roll is in the film, and it looks wonderful. But that was definitely an obstacle for sure. You know, obviously I didn't know about those things because I didn't grow up in LA, you know, yeah.
Did you do a lot of this film guerrilla style then? Did you get permits, or how proper was the filming?
I mean, you know, for all the interviews, we obviously got permits, as, you know, because they were mainly shot at skate parks and stuff like that with their permission. But, you know, with the skateboarding stuff, you know, we were still low budget. I guess we wanted to keep it authentic in a way, where we had, for example, Aaron Joss and Moki in the film, and we shot him in downtown LA. We obviously wanted to keep it authentic. So we did shoot it without permits, just like skate videos. And we did get the real experience. You know, the difference, I guess, is that, you know, skate videos are often shot with like kind of, you know, not cheap equipment, but small equipment, and you can move around freely. You know, we had Red Dragon cameras that were really heavy, so, you know, we couldn't run with them for sure. So yeah, we had to get lucky. We got lucky, thank God. But yeah.
And did you have a wish list about who to go after for your documentary, skaters? I mean, who did you get? Who didn't you get?
We pretty much got all of them, man. I mean, obviously there were some schedules we, you know, couldn't really fit in, and, you know, skaters lead kind of busy lives, but we pretty much got all of them. You know, Tony Hawk was obviously on the top of the list, and he was the first one to agree to the project when I pitched it for him. Rodney Mullen too. Those were obviously the main 2 ones, and also Steve Cavallaro and all those skaters. So we pretty much got them all. I don't really think there would be any, like, now looking back at it, I don't think the film would benefit from having any additional skaters, you know.
And also this game was so life-changing for a lot of people that were growing up, and especially for the skating scene and the skate industry. Did you get all kinds of great stories from people about their experiences with the game?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, man. I mean, everybody that was in the film was, you know, in one way or another, very passionate about the games. You know, Rodney Mullen, for example, never played video games. He's never played video games, and he could still really appreciate what the video games did to, you know, skateboarding culture as a whole, and himself too. Even in his book, The Mutt, the Rodney Mullen story, and How to Skateboard and Not Kill Yourself, he does mention this, that it just brought him to a whole other level of fame that he'd never seen before. So yeah, we got a lot of those awesome stories, man, because, you know, not everybody played him, but everybody knew of them. And, you know, they were such a cultural phenomenon. And, you know, I think even the most hardcore skater who would only stay true to, you know, the very, you know, hardcore roots, Southern California, you know, skating in pools that, you know, in your neighbor's pools that, you know, when they're on vacation, I think even those people, you know, can't look away from the influence that the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater games had.
And Goldfinger Superman, such an essential part of the video game history, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Hang on. Actually, do you have 1 minute?
Sure.
Let me play something. 'Cause I was practicing for my orchestra. Hang on. This is crazy. Hang on. Let's try it.
Go for it.
No, hang on. Sorry. Wrong note. 1 moment. Yeah, that was
not one lesson, quick. Folks. Not one lesson.
Yeah.
Ferris Bueller joke. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. So Goldfinger, you know, they did sort of during the quarantine. They had this thing called quarantine sessions where they would essentially re-record their most famous songs and some of their hidden gems and kind of re-release it as singles. And they did re-record a Superman. You know, we were obviously we kind of knew about it, so they were kind enough to, you know, to let us use all those songs in the game. I mean, in the film. And Mike Herrera, who, you know, plays the bass in Goldfinger, he also recorded an acoustic cover of Superman that we use in the credits, and it's just wonderful. I mean, that song, in a way, is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. That song and Million Colin No Cigar, I think, are the most essential songs of the entire franchise.
And so all your hard work, you took it to the Mammoth Film Festival. What was the response? And tell me about the experience.
It was cool, man. I mean, you know, we were kind of one of the big films there. You know, going in, I really didn't have any expectations, but coming out of it, I was mind blown, really, because it was such a great festival. It's an amazing festival. The organizers behind it put so much care and love into it. They got a really, I mean, I think every single film that was shown there had the people behind it, at the location, which is super rare. I mean, even for big festivals. So it was awesome, and the film was received well. And, you know, Tony Hawk and Rodney Mullen were there too, so that totally made the experience so great for everybody.
Had to be nervous interviewing Tony Hawk, right? I mean, that was the whole point of this documentary. I mean,
you know, to be fair, that was actually the first interview we did. Kind of not first day on set. I did interview a developer before that, but yeah, I think that was the second time I met Tony, and I was going to interview him. And, you know, obviously, you know, he's my biggest hero. But it was cool, man. You know, he's such a good guy. He's so friendly and down to earth that it all ended up being really great. And I think he kind of, you know, felt my calmness, and he was very calm too. And, you know, we both helped each other out. Obviously, he's done probably millions of interviews in his life. So, yeah.
And probably the icing on the cake, remastered and re-released this September, the game.
Yeah, man. It's going to be great. I mean, it's developed by Vicarious Visions, who, you know, worked on Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 to American Skateland, dare I say, on handheld systems such as the Game Boy and Nintendo DS. And those games were acclaimed too. I mean, actually, I just looked at it the other day. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 on the Game Boy Advance is ranked as, I think, the 60th best game of all time on Metacritic, which is amazing. So, and, you know, those guys are handling the new Tony Hawk's Pro Skater game. And, you know, the demo just came out this Friday, and it plays so well. I probably played it for 5 hours now. I cannot get enough. And it's just one level. It's just a 2-minute run, and it's just so awesome.
And Ludvig, you know, was this a one-time thing for you? Have you been bitten by the filmmaking bug? You going to do another documentary or maybe something that's fiction, or was it just a one-time thing?
No, I'm going to do more documentaries, man, for sure. You know, I'm kind of going between genres. So, you know, one of my biggest passions is horror filmmaking. I just did a horror film called The Outsider, based on a story by H.P. Lovecraft, which came out on Alter a few weeks ago. It's been received pretty well, and I'm actually going to do sci-fi short film next. And also there's a couple more documentaries coming up. It'll definitely be a while until I make my first fiction feature, but my next documentary feature, it's already in the works. You know, we're just starting development on it.
That's really exciting, man. Good for you. I can't wait to see what you do next. Congratulations on pretending I'm a Superman. And where are you at right now? I'm in Las Vegas, and you're somewhere special, right?
Yeah, I'm in Stockholm, Sweden, man. Yeah, that's where
So cool technology, right? Well, Ludwig, thank you for talking to me again after the first interview with Snafu, and I wish
No
you
worries.
best of luck, man.
You too, man. Thank you so much for having me.